Matt Owens, the GOAT, fought to keep Season 2 of One Piece live-action story intact. The freaking executives wanted to skip some arcs and end with Alabasta. You remember what I said? That's what I said. It makes sense from a money perspective, from an executive perspective. It made perfect sense to end with Alabasta, because of course it does. From a creative point of view, it doesn't. That is the same thing I always said. And once again, I was proven right. Well, only half right, because I kept going in circles about it, you know? But Matt pushed back and kept the full plan. I haven't seen this, so apparently there's a video about it. I haven't seen this video. This popped into my recommended, so I wanted to look at just this, right? And I'm pretty sure they post spoilers, so I'm not going to follow up on this. This is a big deal. The fact that they managed to keep it on lockdown, that's, like, huge deal number one. The fact that Matt Owens actually managed to, like, keep it completely intact. And number two, that the freaking executives are already trying to mess it up. Because of course they are. Of course they are. They need to come up with, like, some sort of way to make sure that the creatives have ultimate control over this. Because if Netflix lets the executives in here, it's gonna get messed up. I can guarantee it. The best part about this is that all the creatives involved have every single incentive to make sure that it goes right, because right now the value chain is too strong. I'm not going to draw it again, but I've drawn the value chain, right? It's like the old anime, the manga, the new anime, and now the live action, and it's a whole big circle that constantly keeps looping and looping and looping and making more money. So that's great. That said, we got news. Now, we talked about Vivi before. This was leaked, so we knew this. We knew this for a very, very long time. It's good to get a confirmation. There was also a message from her. Imagine people just hearing this word Vivi all the time. It's like Vivi this, Vivi that, and it's actually Miss Wednesday. What's up with this Vivi nonsense? Who's Vivi? It's Miss Wednesday. So that's going to be very funny. But yeah, this was leaked a long, long time ago. We knew this. It's good, though. It's good that we got a confirmation. Now, to be fair, this completely broke my expectations once again. Because I was not expecting literally just Vivi. I was expecting my boy. I was expecting Robin. And I was expecting Vivi along with that. We didn't get that. That said, we got this. Bartolomeo. Yes, Bartolomeo. Now, people got very confused, because what in all things holy does Bartolomeo have to do with anything? We are not in Dressrosa. He is there in Logtown. So he is in the flashback. The thing that should, like, raise some eyebrows for you, though, is the fact that they're casting an actual person for this. I think this will probably be a recast situation. Like, realistically. If, and this is a huge if, we ever get to Dressrosa, they're probably going to be recast at that point. I don't see this being like a casting decision where we're keeping him on lock until we get to Dressrosa. I don't think so. But yes, this has been confirmed by very reputable sources. It was on his CV. And by the way, if you ever want to become a detective, if you ever want to find out all the leaks, I will let you in on a little secret. Go to LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn, look at CVs, look at job postings. Those are the three things that no one can hide, because they need to be public by design. Job postings for video games are the easiest one. LinkedIn is the place where people want to flex with where they've been, and they always leak something. And CVs usually are a bit harder to come by, but you can find them. So that's where you go for all the leaks. This leak through this guy's CV, he already removed it. But yes, this is a flashback. This is a flashback, basically confirmed. So this is going to be in Logtown. Live action casting Barto for Logtown, even though the live action will never get to Dressrosa, is what I want Wit to do in their remake. Yes. I really want Wit to do, like, all the cheeky things that they now can do in hindsight. You know? I got in hot water about this, because One Piece fans are unfortunately sometimes too overprotective. In one of the older videos, I said Wit needs to fix the mistakes. You know why I called them mistakes? Because Oda fixed them. They are mistakes. There are literal animation and drawing mistakes in One Piece that get fixed. Like Marco, who had a different design. And like Rayleigh, who also had a different design. All of them were brought in line. And I said that, right? But what I meant is that they need to fix all of those things that got fixed later on, right? Just use the benefit of hindsight to add people like Bartolomeo, like Dragon, like Mihawk, and everyone else in all the flashback scenes, in all the places where they're supposed to be. Have all of them Just fix all of these things to have that sense of consistency and that sense of the world always being relevant. You know, that was one of the best things. Do you think there's any fear of the Game of Thrones treatments? I think as long as we have Matt Owens, no. I think they have an extremely good team. I'll just say that. They clearly want to make this good. They're 100% ready to push back. And they just want to make it the best it can be, basically. Because not ending on Alabasta, it is a controversial decision. Even among fans of the series, this is a controversial decision. Even going to my YouTube comments on the video I made about this, people are very, very torn. There are lots and lots of different decisions about this. Live action Foxy. I think live action Foxy could be some of the most fun stuff we ever see in the series. I'll say it right now. I think seeing them play like dodgeball and stuff would be excellent. Wait. Dodgeball was the canon part, right? It was. Yeah, Dodgeball was the second game. That is canon. That is canon. What do you mean no? Please don't tell me the Dodgeball part was the filler. Dodgeball. Wait. Hold up. Oh no. Long ring, long lead. I have been brainwashed. So canon. Oh no. They're not gonna play Dodgeball. That's my favorite sport. So it's literally just a boat race, then the Sanji Zoro thing, and then it's the end. Bro! Oh no! I am so shocked and sad. Oh my god. They're not gonna skip the arc because it introduces Davy Jones. People can say I am brainwashed. They're not skipping Foxy. They're not. For any reason whatsoever, it introduces the lore of Davy Jones and the concept of a Davy back fight. It is not being skipped. In no universe is it going to be skipped. But hold on. We got more news. We got more news. That's right. That's right. We got Chopper. Now, this means nothing. This means absolutely nothing. We don't know. It says right here, given the lack of details so far on how Chopper will be adapted in live action and Gavin's experience as a stunt performer who works with prosthetics, it is unclear whether he'll serve solely as a body double or also provide the character's voice for heavy points. Now, someone posted a very good picture of this, right? So it could easily be something like this. It's like a body double of some sort or something like that, because this guy has a lot of experience with working with prosthetics, right? But in some capacity, we know at least one person who's going to work on Chopper. At least one person. Chopper would have different actors. I think so too. I think they're probably going to go for multiple different people. I think, honestly, we talked so much about doing, like, how will they have Chopper on screen, considering he's probably going to be excruciatingly expensive. I'm gonna be real with you. Him being in Monster Point, or Heavy Point, rather, not Monster Point, not Monster Point at all, in Heavy Point all the time, and if they did something like this, it could honestly be kind of easy. If they have him be in Heavy Point a lot of the time, he's gonna be very easy. To be fair, though, they are ending on Drum Kingdom, and there's not a lot of room for Heavy Point. He doesn't really use it that much there. Glad stunt performance to cast Chopper and not to use too much CGI. It is a good sign that they're getting someone who is experienced with this kind of stuff, yes. Which does probably mean that at least when we see him like in the distance and fighting, it's gonna be a real dude. Also, the proportions on this guy look so funny. This image looks so cursed. What about the merchandise? I mean, yeah, we talked about this before. We've talked plenty about this. If Netflix is smart, I'm not going to go in the whole spiel about how Disney made money and Netflix hasn't made money because they don't have marketable series. We've talked about all that before. But yes, they need to make Chopper cute if they want to capitalize on that. I think Detective Pikachu, Baby Yoda, all of those things are too expensive to have on screen in a TV show for a regular character. I don't think we should be expecting something like that unless, and this is a big unless, some kind of massive breakthrough has happened with VFX that they can make it cheap. I have never been in America. Literally not once. I'm not born in America, I've never been in America, and I have no plans of going to America. The thing with them slowing down is not just to fit more content, but it means they have more budget for less content. Yes. It's not even like it's not even more budget for less content, but more so just using that budget wisely, right? So in like In the first season, they had a set like Baratier, which was 100% practical. Like, Baratier was an actual thing they built, right? And it was so ludicrously expensive that blasting through it in like 2 episodes is almost... It's borderline dumb. It's borderline a waste of resources, you know? So I think slowing down and actually lingering on the locations... I mean, Little Garden is going to be relatively cheap. A Little Garden is basically a cool-looking forest. Little Garden is not going to be expensive. It's Drum Kingdom that's probably like the most expensive thing, and obviously Reverse Mountain. And Arlong Park was massively underutilized, yeah. Exactly, they barely even used the sets. You might be thinking that we've been yapping about my little boy for this long, that's it. It's not. I got more. This is a very reputable leaker. My time to shine. He's gotten some things wrong, but a lot of the stuff he gets wrong is simply because it changes behind the scenes. Casting of Ace and Crocodile. 1 yes and 1 no. This is not Ace. This is not Ace. This is not Ace. This is not Ace. I am 99.9% sure this is not Ace. This is the no. I am almost certain it's not. This is Crocodile. I believe this is the yes. There is still a chance that this is not right. There is. This is scoops. This is leaks. This is takes. There is still a chance this is not confirmed. I want to make this clear. But this guy gets a lot of things right. He definitely has at least some contacts either in the costume department or casting or something else because he gets a lot of stuff right. So this is Crocodile. This could be a stand-in because Crocodile probably isn't going to appear in like an explicit capacity. There is that call on Little Garden where he does appear, but they can keep him shrouded in shadows. At the same time though, it probably makes sense to get a concrete casting and start using him right off the bat because he's going to be the big bad for Season 3. It makes perfect sense. This is honestly like a Negan situation. They need to set him up in Season 6 so that they can start using him in Season 7. Or in this case, they need to set him up in Season 2 so they can start using him in Season 3. It is excellent Ace casting. I'm just telling you that this is not the Ace casting. If he played Ace, I would be 1,000,000% happy. He is so good in Cobra Kai. There's no point in casting Ace right now. Yeah, same. Same. I don't think there's really much point in casting Ace at this very moment. I can see there being like a tease of Ace, but it's not going to be, Ace isn't going to appear, basically. At least in my opinion. But if this is Crocodile, though, let's look this guy up. Joe He's been in Mythic Quest. People need to start watching Mythic Quest. Mythic Quest is so good. I love Mythic Quest. Love, Death, and Robots. He's been in a lot of stuff, including my favorite, Bubble Guppies. My favorite show. Ace is teased at the end of Drum Kingdom in the manga. Not sure what they're going to do. You mean like the Blackbeard mention where we hear that Ace is looking for Blackbeard? I think they can use that as basically a silhouette. Season 2 and 3 is not being filmed back to back. That is a rumor that is not confirmed, and currently we don't know if that is true. That is Avatar. People got confused with Avatar. This has never been confirmed. There is absolutely no news of Season 3 even happening. Season 3 is not even confirmed, let alone filming, let alone casting. Let alone casting, let alone filming. That's not true. Ace and Cobra are shown about equal amounts in Drum Island. If they're going to cast Cobra, it makes sense that they would also cast Ace. Not necessarily, because this is a situation where you need to remember that this is a live-action production. So it is a case of managing people. So Cobra's story is more relevant for Vivi, and it is more relevant. Why does the word relevant sound so weird? He is relevant for Vivi's story, and he is relevant for leading into Alabasta because it is all about kingdoms, right? Drum Kingdom, all about a kingdom, who's the ruler, and then you get into Alabasta, that's all about a kingdom. And then you get to Ace. Ace is only relevant for Alabasta and the Blackbeard stuff. He doesn't necessarily actually need to appear at all in order to tell the Alabasta story. It was the Patty actor during the interview that speculated it? Yeah, exactly. People thought that Patty's actor speculating it was a confirmation, but in reality, both Patty, along with most people in the comments, probably mixed it up with Avatar. Because literally, like a couple of days before that, Avatar got a confirmation that it's happening like both seasons. You think we might get some extra subplot in Season 2 like we had with Garp? Yes, I think we're going to see something to do with Buggy. I think we're going to see a lot more stuff with Smoker. I don't know how Smoker is going to play in with the whole Garp stuff, but I think there's going to be like a whole Navy side plot. And Buggy's another one. So that's going to be like a B and C plot, I think. Smoker will basically be the chasing force throughout the whole season, just like they did with Garp. I think a lot of people won't like it, but I am 1,000,000% on board with Smoker actually being a chasing force, because, I mean, that's what he is. That's literally what Smoker is. He shows up in Logtown and then shows up in Alabasta. It would make like much more sense if he is constantly on their tail. The more they cast now, the less time it takes casting people in later seasons. Yeah, but I think you forget one crucial thing. You forget one very big crucial thing. Casting a person now is a lot of money. And that is a commitment. What if they get a better role? Are you going to start recasting? No, you don't want to do that. You want to minimize casting that you need to do for every single season. You absolutely do not want to bloat the cast and then have people leave because they're not getting enough screen time. That is what happened with The Walking Dead. That is what happened with Game of Thrones. That is what has happened with basically every single show. You want to keep the cast as lean as physically possible. So it's not about time, it's about money. They'll skip Ace's parts in Alabasta? No way, no. Kobe and Garp are, I believe, confirmed by Netflix themselves to be returning characters. So they will definitely be back, yeah. With One Piece having major characters change actors will be a major problem. And that's the thing, like, One Piece's writing, in many ways, fundamentally doesn't work for a live-action show. You know? It's a huge problem that I'm very curious to see how they tackle. Because characters like Dragon, for example, there is a reason why no one was formally... Well, there was that guy who said that, like, his parts got cut, but he was a stand-in. He was absolutely a stand-in. Casting a character, and I will be very curious to see what they do in Logtown. Casting someone like Dragon for a live-action production, and not having him show up for, what? Like 3, 4, 5 years bare minimum? That is just not... It's not normal. It's not anime, and it's not manga where you can draw in a character and it's fine. This is like an actual person, you know? It's very, very hard to get people back. What if Smoker and Kobe team up? I do think that there's a decent chance that happens too. I don't know why they gave him a larger role. It's very simple. The reason why Kobe had a larger role is because of budget. They needed a B-plot to make sure that the budget doesn't get out of hand, and a B-plot is cheap, right? If you look at the Kobe scenes, all of them are extremely low budget. Every single one of the Kobe scenes, like outside of like when the series starts, it is either like Garp's quarters and they're playing like a board game. They're either just like on the ship deck and not doing basically anything. All the Kobe scenes are cheap. That's why they're there. That's literally it. Kobe's entire thing is a B-plot. It's extremely sad for me to see how stable One Piece seems to be doing with this stuff. And I don't mean sad that it's like, you know, it's doing very good and that's why I'm sad. No, I'm not. It's sad to see like how stable they're doing here and what's happening with Avatar on the other side. Because if you're not keeping up with Avatar, like, it's pretty clear that One Piece going with the practical route is the right decision. There is so much drama with Avatar around the use of the volume, right? They're basically dropping the volume, which is like the big screen recording thing. It's good for VFX and stuff. They're dropping that, and by dropping that, they now need to like totally shift around how the production team looks like. And now they need to totally change how the outfits looks like. And now they need to change totally how they film. It's such a bloodbath over there. And then One Piece is just chugging along. This whole thing is wild to me. At this point, I'm kind of certain that the Robin League is also correct. Thank God I didn't bring it up on stream. You have no idea what I just... Anyway. Robin. I think this is basically confirmed as well. But she hasn't been in a ton of stuff at all. Okay. But yeah, I think Robin is basically confirmed as well at this point. Based on all the scoops that people have gotten, I think so. I think Skypiea will probably be like a huge challenge. If they get to Water 7, I think Water 7 will be the thing that like really breaks live action audiences. And like Water 7 and then Sabaody and then Marineford, if we ever get there, that is when I genuinely think One Piece has a chance of being, and I'm not talking about like One Piece anime, manga, yada yada. I mean the live action version has the chance to have the hubbub of Game of Thrones. Like straight up. Because like try and picture Sabaody happening in live action. I know exactly what photo you saw. It pops up every time you look up One Piece leaks. I don't think you know what I saw. It's gonna be like the Ned Stark scene. I think it's gonna be like the Ned Stark scene times 10. Because the way Sabaody ends, I think it's a matter of expectations, right? Because leading up to Sabaody, the story wasn't about like people dying, about everything being bad, about everyone being destroyed. It was about hope, and it was about like overcoming adversity against basically anything. And then Sabaody is a freaking brick wall. That is not like, because Game of Thrones opened with brutality. And yeah, Ned Stark is a huge thing. I think it would be much closer to the Red Wedding. If we ever get to Sabaody, I just cannot even imagine what would happen. And the thing is, it would be ruined. You know why? Because it's Netflix. It would all air in the same day, and there would never be any kind of hype. Can you imagine if, like, this came out on, like, HBO or something, and the episode where all of them are destroyed came out? It would be, like, the best thing ever. Netflix would ruin it. I pray they hard cut the season with Kuma popping every straw hat. Yes. Yes. That's how I envisioned it as well. But yeah, absolutely. The thing that kept like Game of Thrones at the top of everyone's mind is weekly. If it wasn't weekly, I don't think it would have anywhere near the level of hype that it did. And I think this goes for every single big show. Like, can you imagine Lost? I'm guessing a lot of people haven't seen Lost because it's kind of older now. But like Lost, if it wasn't weekly, literally wouldn't have worked. Like, fundamentally, the concept of Lost, the TV show, would have been like 1/100th of what it was when it was airing weekly. And the same goes for like The Walking Dead. The same goes for Game of Thrones. Same goes for House of the Dragon now. Same goes for Attack on Titan, for that matter. All of these shows, like, they're talked about because it's coming out all the time. If season 1 of One Piece aired weekly, many would have dropped after season 3. I think that is why the best way of doing it is to move away from the, like, batch releases the further you get into the story. I think it's okay to do setup and, like, give people a lot to get invested, right? Even though I still don't think you are correct. Because a lot of people have dropped shows midway, and then it gets better and better and better, and then there is that beautiful thing called word of mouth. And when you hear everyone on the internet saying, "Oh my god, it is so good," eventually people get back into it. So I see what you're saying. It is good to like give people something to chew on. That's why a lot of the time premieres are usually longer than the rest of the episodes. It's just to get people invested right off the bat. We're seeing a lot of this in anime now, right? There's like 4 episodes drop. Like the third 3 episode rule is there for a reason. But I think everything after people are invested, you need to have the confidence to let every single episode stand on its own. A good show will never die by a single bad episode. Not once. It doesn't matter how bad of an episode you put out. If people have faith in your show, they just won't drop it. Simple as that. And if you want good evidence of this, literally look at The Walking Dead. They put out 2 whole seasons of stinkers, and people kept watching. Word of mouth is strong. Word of mouth is the strongest form of advertising, and it's not even close. No single form of advertising has such a high return on investment as just word. Well, it's a paradoxical thing to say, right? How can you have return on investment when it's word of mouth? But the conversion rates and like the value of word of mouth is incomparable to any kind of marketing, and it's not even close to. You can literally be burning money however much you like. You will never beat word of mouth. Every single show that like blew up suddenly has been because of word of mouth. Every single game, every single TV show, none of them usually blow up because of marketing. And by the way, a good example of this is the thing we just talked about, Concord. Concord now has all the marketing in the world, and it's still gonna fail. It doesn't matter how much money you burn. If it's a bad thing, it's not gonna matter. Word of mouth is strong because it is impossible to artificially produce. It's just making good content, and that's what I mean. If you have faith in the thing you've produced, just put it out. People will watch it. Companies with a lot of goodwill and a lot of and I mean, even like from the stuff I play and look at, I mentioned Walking Dead, right? Walking Dead is a good example. People kept watching it even though they were putting out stinkers. World of Warcraft, people have kept saying WoW is dead for I don't even know how many years. It's still doing completely fine, and it's still the biggest MMO on the market. Like, straight up. So many different things go with this role. If you want to look at the inverse, right, in terms of not killing your thing because it suddenly gets bad, Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Game of Thrones was a massive stinker. Everyone hated Game of Thrones. Everyone. Not a single person liked Game of Thrones. And then House of the Dragon came out. And everyone was like, ayo, that's kind of good. And then by the end of season 1, everyone was locked in. Now season 2 is a bit of a mixed bag, but it illustrates my point. Needs to be Ace? I think it would be perfect casting, but right now it's probably not like confirmed. Because when they put this picture side by side, I mean, he actually looks like Ace. Like straight up. He doesn't even need like a haircut or anything. He just looks like Ace. He naturally looks like Ace. And the thing you must also remember is that Netflix a lot of the time casts people from inside of Netflix, right? So who was cast from Bridgerton? Who was that? They cast someone from like another Netflix show, right? That's what Netflix does a lot of the time. It's just because like agents know each other and casting agents talk between each other. Vivi is the one, yeah, Vivi. So Vivi was on Bridgerton. I don't even know how to pronounce the word. I think it's Bridgerton, Bridgerton. I don't know. But that's like one example. Because usually the way a lot of these things work is between agents. It has nothing to do with like the network between the people, yada yada. It's just a lot of agents work in the same network, therefore they know each other, and therefore it's like, hey, I'm gonna pitch my client to your client, we're buddies, and it's just easy to do that. He needs a more muscular body to play Ace. Bro, he is ripped. This guy is ripped as hell. I want to see how Chopper will look like. I don't think we're gonna see Chopper. How he actually looks like is probably not going to be a thing until the trailer. I think we might get news and potentially teasers in Geeked Week, but I don't think we will actually see him. Because I think Chopper will be very, very effects heavy and very, very expensive. And Geeked Week is happening too soon. Like, it's September. I don't think it's gonna happen. Bartolomeo is definitely just a cameo. When will they announce for Nico Robin? Nico Robin will probably be announced in Geeked Week, but we already know who it is, most likely. 90% chance we already know who it is. Would Nico Robin be announced? That would spoil it. She would be announced under... What the hell was even her full name? Miss Sunday? Sunday, right? All Sunday, okay. All Sunday. I have gotten pretty good with One Piece names, but I still don't remember things like nicknames. Because, man, you have no idea how much I still struggle with all the names. I am surprised. I've memorized so many of them at this point. I am so freaking bad with names. It is insane. The fact that I remember who Bartolomeo is... To be fair, half the reason why I remember Bartolomeo's name is because I call Bertolt in Attack on Titan Bartolomeo all the time. It's like burrito, bathwater, barbecue sauce, birch nut, Bartolomeo, Bart Simpson, all these different things. My boy Karoo? And that random crab? I don't know. Because I think this is a situation where we can look at Avatar, right? In Avatar, there is a beautiful little boy by the name of Flopsy. And unfortunately, they only had time for a statue. Because Avatar obviously had, like, Appa and Momo, right? And Appa and Momo were very, very expensive. And if you pay attention to stuff like Momo throughout the season, they're constantly trying to hide him. So, I think if we're gonna have someone like Chopper, I don't think they're gonna start doing, like, all the other animals. I just don't see it being financially viable. Because Karoo is, like, all the time there. I don't know what Netflix's budgets looks like, but purely from like a practical point of view, I don't see them adapting like most of the animals as long as Chopper is around. Because I think it also like brings up a question of priorities, you know? Like personally, I would rather have them actually focus on showing, because the thing I am most afraid of is not that Chopper looks bad or he looks like weird or whatever. The thing I am most afraid of is that he looks really, really good and they hide him. Like, he is so expensive that they just keep hiding him all the time and not even having him on screen. That is the thing I am most afraid of. Because I think that would genuinely make the story worse. I don't care how good he looks like if he's just not around. Actors' age? I think the actors' age is only a problem in the context of the manga and in the context of the anime. I don't think, like, Luffy aging and Luffy actually becoming... I would be down to watch a 30, 40, 50-year-old Iñaki sailing the seas. I would. I think it is only a problem in the context of knowing the source material, and that's about it. Because fact of the matter is, and I've said this before, the passage of time in One Piece makes no sense. In real life, when you're sailing takes an excruciatingly long time. That is why we don't use boats all that often anymore. We fly, right? So the fact that they, like, all of pre-time skip is like a couple months, and then the time skip is 2 years, that is insane. What they need to do is they just need to say that instead of sailing for, like, I don't know, like 5 days, as they do in the anime, it was like 5 months, and that's it. You can very easily cover up, like, the time discrepancy by just saying that's what traveling takes, because that's literally true. The only thing that obviously changes is the character dynamic, but at the same time, I also think in the anime, the character dynamic is as if they were friends for years. So I don't even think it's like, the passage of time is not like a huge factor. That whole thing, like the time skip is longer than they've even been together, that's like a cool factoid, but I don't think it's like an important thing at all. Like, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they are all incredibly tight-knit. They can't say in Season 9 that Roger died 22 years ago. Yeah, and that's one of those things they need to, like, constantly keep in mind, right? That's just like a rewriting question, but I don't think it's hard to do at all. It's just you need to keep the timeline in check. Oh, tomorrow we have the chapter, so I'm going to be back on tomorrow. But yes, thank you for joining me today, and then I'll see you back a bit earlier than today for the chapter, which thankfully I've managed to be unspoiled on, except for the fact that it's shorter. That is all I know. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.